Exactly. The keyword might be it is having such an object in your hand is connecting you in a deeper way than reading a book, or in addition to a good book, it's connecting you more on the emotional level, maybe. With history, it makes that the access easier. This is what my point is actually. Yeah.
Chaque objet d'art a une histoire à raconter. Une histoire qui devient mythe. Un mythe qui devient légende. Bienvenue sur Rosantico, le podcast qui explore le marché de l'art et ses coulisses. Découvrez les histoires inspirantes des femmes et des hommes, experts, galéristes, collectionneurs, qui agissent à l'unisson pour rendre ce secteur vibrant et riche en découvertes, avec l'amour et la passion pour l'art et la beauté qui les guident au quotidien. Partez pour un voyage unique, où la tradition et l'expertise se mêlent aujourd'hui à l'innovation et à la technologie, où des nouveaux enjeux sociétaux et juridiques rebattent les cartes du secteur et redéfinissent l'essence même du collectionnisme au XXIe siècle. Je m'appelle Bornas Cognamillo, je suis le PDG et fondateur de Minkleman & Co. Et ça, c'est Rosantico. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this new episode of Rosantico podcast. Now, today the episode will be led in English, and I have two exquisite guests that will talk about numismatics and technology and innovation in this fascinating field. Today with us we have Ulf Maria Künker and Gitta Künker. Ulf, Gitta, please, could you introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello, everybody. My name is Ulf Maria Künker. I'm a born German from the Teutonian Forest. And since some 20 years, I live in Switzerland. And here I manage the auction house of Hess Divo and 6bit, the leading platform for numismatic auctions. I live partly in Zurich and Grindelwald in my beloved mountains. I have 2 kids. And here is my sister Gitta, who has a quite similar story.
Hi, Gitta.
Hello, everybody. My name is Gitta Künker. I'm the founder and CEO of DigitalStax, which is a digitalization platform for certificates of authenticity, as well as numismatic's, which is the use case for the numismatic world.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much. Could you please just tell us what sparked your interest in ancient art and specifically numismatics? And how did you get started in this field?
Yeah, if I may, I have a little story to tell here. As we come from the countryside in northern Germany, it was a striking and overwhelming moment when my father, who is also a coin dealer, took me to Paris when I was 8 years old. And then for the first time, I could see the let's say, cultural and historical wealth of the world there in Paris, at least what they have there. And ever since, my eyes and my spirit is open very much for old and nice things as coins, objects, and also, of course, art in general. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you very much. And you, Gitta, what about it?
Yeah, even though my father founded one of the largest coin auction houses for coins, coin auction houses, I started my career as a business consultant, worked in consulting and banks for most of my career. So I came rather lately to the topic. Of course, more looking at it from a process side, regulatory perspective, and thinking about ways how to improve the industry in general.
Excellent. And we're going to go deep inside basically the missions and visions you both have, your several projects.
Yes, of course. Hess Divo is a rather small boutique-style auction house, and our focus is not on the mass business. You know, some other competitors in the industry, they they do thousands of coins when they have an auction, and we are rather picky, and we try to focus on very exclusive and high valued objects or small collections of the same kind. So I would say a rather picky boutique style auction house and not the mass wear.
I see. Thank you. And could you tell us more about some recent or upcoming auctions, maybe, or exhibitions that you have recently organized at Hess Divo?
Yeah, our next auction is fortunately now online on 6-bit. You can, if you scroll down, and you find it on the 13th of December, and it starts with ancient coins, Greek coins, a very, very nice part of a big collection. Is a selection of coins of that collection. For example, a decadram of Syracuse, Sicily, which is one of the finest and largest objects you can have from that old Greek world, and a choice of Roman gold coins, of course. And then we come to the modern world. What we say, that is everything, let's say, after 1500. When the medieval times, through the Renaissance, il Rinascimento, come sai, opened up again to old values that were kept by the church, by the way, in the libraries of the church. And then slowly, the whole world got access to this, and that is what we call the period of Rinascimento, Renaissance, and that led to a big push in the whole art world, and also, of course, in coins. And here we have a very incredible, big and representative piece of 20 ducats, which is, for us who deal with small things, coins are small, but this coin is very big. It's the size of the palm of your hand almost. And there's only two in existence of Tyrol in Austria, which was a part of the Habsburger Empire at the time. And we estimated it at 250,000. And more nice things like that, you will all find it on the 13th December in Zurich in the Hotel Borolac. And you, of course, dear Borna and Philippine, are heartily invited to come and participate.
With great pleasure. Thank you very much. And so if you can tell our listeners one memorable auction that you organized recently or some years ago.
Yeah, I thought about it before. And, when I look back at my 20 years here, there was one auction that was really extraordinary, let's say, because of one object. And this is because also we have very good connections to Japan. Japan is a big market for coins. The Japanese like to collect coins, our coins. And then through these connections, I got one of the rarest Japanese coins in existence, the so-called Tensho Hishi Oban from Toyotomi Hideyoshi, a samurai of the 16th century. Let me briefly explain the historical background. In the 16th century, Japan was not united. It was splittered in several kingdoms, and everybody was fighting against each other. You know the stories of the samurai. And this samurai, he's the big unifier. And in order to unify, he called the spirits, and he also made 7 of these big gold coins, all with original ink inscription on them of the 16th century. This is incredible that it's still lasting on the gold. It's not it's not the best material to write on. So, and one of the 7 we had, the other 6 are in museums. So they are not on the market. And the one that is on the market was entrusted to us. And a lot of Japanese were there. Also, the ambassador of Switzerland came in traditional clothes with his wife in kimono. And yeah, we had an incredible moment, and it was estimated at 1 million. And in the end, it hammered down and found a new owner privately for 1.1 million.
Wow.
And this was also price-wise a lot. And the buyer at the time, it is 9 years ago now, the buyer I consider him to be the most lucky person, because in the today market, I think with the global exposure we have now, it could be easily worth 10 million.
Wow.
That's my Japanese story.
Incredible. Getting to collecting, collecting art, what does it mean for you today, Ulf? Also beyond numismatics, if you could provide us your vision.
Yeah, I get your point, and I try to answer broadly. The collecting activity was more or less a privilege of the nobility in old times. Let's say it started with the Rinascimento, as we said, and then at the time only dukes and kings and lords could actually collect or have money or old money, such as Roman gold coins or Greek coins and everything. And then with the upcoming Bürgertum, let's say, that normal people more and more got rich in the 19th century, it became a broad hobby of many more people, especially in Italy and in Germany, let's say, or also in England and France, but let's say here and in these major countries with a big tradition of history. Yeah. So and now today it's still a very broad hobby. Extremely important, in my point of view, to show our children also that what we have, what our cultures build on, and that we can possess things, and having things in your own hands and actually owning them makes you very witty and vivid for everything that happened in the past, which is the base for everything we have. So I think this hobby is very important in general for our education, for our next generation, and for our spirits in general. Yeah, that's what how do you see it, Borna?
It's a very interesting question, Ulf. I've been working on archaeological fields for 10 years, and I worked mainly in Egypt. And unearthing an object which dates back, it's an emotion, a feeling that it's rarely felt. And so it's really unique. I mean, I could, talk about 4 hours.
Oh, well, yeah, I can imagine. I've never had the pleasure to do that, but I can, I get a little goose skin the way you describe it.
The feeling that you have this tiny object which was hidden from eyesight for centuries, whether millennia, and then it gets up onto your hand. That's a feeling that I can imagine a collector could have. And I think that today, yes, this feeling, as you said, is democratizing more and more. And that's also one of the missions that you have today and the old art market professionals.
Exactly. The keyword might be, it is having such an object in your hand is connecting you in a deeper way than reading a book, or in addition to a good book, it's connecting you more on the emotional level, maybe with history. It makes that the access easier. This is what my point is, actually. Yeah.
Absolutely. And my question was also, how do you address new collectors coming into the collecting market?
Yeah, this is a good question, and it goes back to my second baby, let's say, as I call it, which is now a grown-up person. It is the platform. Some 20 years ago, or let's say in the last millennium, the only way to reach customers was for an auction house to send out to ship the actual catalog. And for collectors, it was very, very difficult to get a full idea of the market. They had to write letters, please send me your catalogs, and please do this and that, and went all through post, more or less. And then we said, okay, we have to find a new way, put forces together, and then we opened up this platform on the internet, 6-bit. And now we get letters or emails from the collectors, please don't ship your catalogs anymore. We have everything we want, and it's all on one side, and we are happy like that. And so we totally changed the world through this project. And now and the side effect is that since that platform is online and it's now more or less comprehensive with, let's say, 100 major auction houses around the world that are participating, that the prices and the body of customers, of people who are interested in these collectors has grown and grown and grown a lot. So we have over 100,000 visitors who are interested in this field. And the side effect, which is for some people painful, but overall I think it's nice. The side effect is that the prices went up a lot ever since. So when you invested 20 years ago, let's say in a Una and the Lion, which is a very famous English gold coin, you could buy it for 10, 20,000. And today it's difficult to get it under 500,000. Just an example.
Mm-hmm. Let's speak about investment, a very important topic today. So do you accompany your customers in, collection management?
I have another Japanese story for you now. And that is a long time ago. There was an elementary school teacher who came to my partner in Tokyo. And he said to him, I want to collect coins. Dear Yuji-san, he said, the teacher. And he said, what is your budget? I'm a teacher, my budget is low. And then he said to him, okay, if your budget is very low, there's only one field you can collect, it's Russian coins. That was before the opening of the Soviet Union, before the collapse of the Soviet Union. So in the 80s, he collected for 10 years Russian coins. And after 10 years, he spent maybe for that collection, he built up 200,000, let's say, euros, dollars, whatever. And then he brought this collection to us here in Zurich. And in the meantime, the Russian world opened. You know the story, what all happened. And then all the Russians were sitting in our auction and bidding on this teacher collection. And he got 10 times more in the end than he invested because of the political change of the situation. I still get postcards from him where he's traveling a lot ever since around the world, and very, very happy man. So this is just one story, how it can go.
Do you think is it a legitimate question to, speak about investment in ancient art collecting?
Yeah, look, Borna, I would say, and I would be interested to hear your opinion. Whenever you buy something that is, let's say, over 1,000 or 10,000 for an object, you can call it collecting, but there is an investment aspect to it, obviously, because it's a lot of money. And as I said, the prices are very strong at the moment. So there's automatically an investment aspect. And people know that. They know it. And of course, they develop their own ideas about it in this fast changing world we are. So people know this, and they do it, I think, because they want to partly insure themselves against inflation. What is a big issue we have? When I came to Switzerland, for example, the euros I bought 20 years ago, they were worth 1.65 Swiss francs. And today, 1 euro is worth not even a franc anymore. So there's a big disruption or let's say inflation going on with the money we have, with our currencies. So as we know from history, coins, good coins, let's say high quality coins, were always a good method for investing in them to balance the effects of inflation. Think about the mega inflations we had in the first half of the last millennium or last century. So this is the big aspect, and I can only try to convince as many people as possible to put some coins or in their portfolios, because it will in the end be a better counterweight to inflation than let's say a bar of gold, because it's what we know from the history of collecting of the last 300 years. which is another project. When I talk about it, we are now trying to, or not trying, we are actually doing this. You know, the time change of digitalization is the year 2000. Before, everything was only available in print. For example, auction catalogs. Now everything comes originally in the digital form everywhere. But before the auction catalogs, we are looking back at 3 centuries of auction catalogs that only exist in print form, in paper. Now we are scanning them and digitalize them as to open up soon a classical archive of the old auction catalogs, of that history, of that data we have, and it will soon be available also on our platform 6-bit as the so-called classical archive. Yeah, big project, and I can tell you we had so many headaches because it's very, very difficult to explain to the machine how to sample different types of catalogs in order to make it researchable and to be able to work with it. But now, after 3 years of hustle and pain, we are close to going online with that next month.
Oh, wow. That's a very interesting point, you know. And as I told you at Winkelmann & Co., one of our main activities is to gather all the information we have about auctions, public auctions in the archaeological field. And up to date, we came up with the data from auctions available online until 1998. But for auctions which are older, well, it's a real challenge to get this data today, because we will talk about also the provenance issues and so on. And today, many experts, gallerists, collectors, they are looking for the information of the previous auctions. We are talking about auctions, you know, dating back to the early 20th century, and a technology like yours could be very interesting, you know, to get all this data, which is now on paper, and putting it into a digital form.
Yeah, also talking about this, dear Borna, we can, if you have customers, or I don't know, in your own company, a big library of old catalogs, we can talk about bringing this technique we now, let's say, manufactured to you and to other interests. And we have this super scanner, which is usually only available in public libraries. It's the only one in private hands is with us here in Zurich. We're quite proud of it. And the technique in order to cut the catalogs in details and assemble the thing lots and make them searchable is something we can soon also offer to our colleagues in the art world.
Perfect. I mean, yeah, let's talk about it. It seems very interesting, and it brings me to the point of, you know, digital innovation and technology, how it can help the art market thrive and evolve in today's world.
Yes, exactly. And here at this point, I'd like to forward the word to Gitta, who's actually working on an extremely important and a very future-like project. And Gitta, would you please explain what you are working on and what you will soon bring to us?
Yes, sure. Thank you very much for the introduction. So what we are launching very soon, early December, is a platform that actually helps collectors in collection management. So they can catalog their entire collections in our database. It's all predefined. So I think that in itself adds value to the collectors, because mostly they work with their own Excel spreadsheets. So yeah, they try to organize themselves. But so you can do that in our platform anonymously. So that's very important. but you can give access rights to other people, like the experts, the coin dealers, to your collection, and then they can assess your collection on a regular basis. So I've worked with people from the art market. I worked with artists when I lived in Singapore. So we know that this in itself is very important, because the collectors want to reassess the value of their collection. The other angle to add is that we realize that certificates of authenticity are usually still done on a paper basis. So, and they become more and more important because of the cultural asset protection laws. Countries look much further into it. And collectors as well as dealers need to prove by chronological provenance that the coin or the art object in general is actually internationally tradable. So what we do through our platform, we establish a process to ensure that all the data that is collected and verified by experts, not by us, is true and is connected to the object. In this case, in the first use case, the coin. So that's two aspects to it that makes it very, very important. And then in addition, Ulf mentioned that all the data is often stored in the catalogs. So yes, he with his 6-bit project scans the old catalogs, but even though everything is digital at the moment, it's spread. It's still sitting in the catalogs, and the collector can then copy paste everything, but that's a lot of effort. So what we do, we work together with the coin dealers, and we will prove that with Ulf's upcoming auction. So we create certificates of authenticity that go with the coin when it's sold. And then by doing that, we preserve all the provenance, all the data that is relevant to the coin or connected to the coin in a digital format.
Okay.
So of course we use blockchain technology. So all the certificates are forgery proof. They sit in wallets, and they can be transferred from one wallet to another.
Wow, that's quite a huge technological improvement. But I would like to ask you, Gitta, how does this kind of approach and technology you're developing today, how do you put it aside the PCGS or GNI certifications? Is it complementary? Because several experts we've talked with told us, yeah, but how can you prove that the coin, so the certificate which is stored in the blockchain, how can you prove that you didn't change in the meanwhile the coin itself?
That's of course a cringeworthy question, right? So in the art industry, a lot of people think about it. There are discussions around artificial DNA. So then others use aspects that can be stored or can be connected to the object, like the slabbing done by the grading institutes. But we said, well, wait a minute. At the moment, the entire industry is doing it just by using pictures. So we have very high resolution pictures at the moment. So we can enlarge everything. So that's a commonly used technology in the industry. So we just continue to use that. And then next year we will implement ultra high resolution scans. Because with the new scanners, it's possible to, when you scan a coin, it's possible to have a unique identifier. We believe the currently done and used photographs are serving that purpose already. But with the scans, it will be a much better result. And then it's really one-to-one connected.
Okay, I see. Ulf, do you have any additions to that?
Yeah, I think it is. You're from Italy, so you're probably aware, and you worked in Egypt, 2 countries that have ultra conservative and too high level of protection of cultural goods. If you agree, I don't know. So, for example,
absolutely,
when something is from Egypt, it's totally illegal to export whatever you have. Whatever you find in Egypt, you have to give to the Egyptians. They put it somewhere, and it goes somewhere. This is a different story. But in Italy, for example, if there's something in auction and someone wants to buy it, like me, from Switzerland, it's extremely difficult because everything that might be of Italian cultural interest from the authorities' point of view needs an export license. So, and with new technology Gitta is introducing, we can also make it possible to keep the object in Italy, let's say, for example. Now we talk about Italy. And with this blockchain proof of ownership and everything, the full information digitalized and it's sozusagen a clone of the coin, we can make it possible to trade it worldwide and respecting the Italian laws of cultural protection that require that the object stays in Italy, let's say in a vault or in a certain place, wherever, in a museum. But then we can abstract the ownership and the tradability of that object from the location of the object.
Location itself, right.
Yeah, thank you, Ulf. That is the second phase of our project, and we differentiate between the coins that are actually allowed to be traded internationally and the ones that fall under the cultural asset protection laws, as Ulf just explained. And for those, we are going to introduce exactly the solution that he just mentioned.
That's extremely interesting and leads me to the last part of the podcast, where I want to ask you, Gitta and Ulf, how do you foresee the future of antiquities art market and specifically coins? Because we are living a time where regulations, bilateral agreements between countries, memorandum of understanding between countries are severely regulating the market. So for our listeners, it's a very interesting point to speak about. And what you were saying about this possibility of innovation. Maybe Ulf, let's start with your general vision. How do you foresee?
Thank you, Borna. It all comes back to what we talked about at the beginning. The collecting activity is an intense exchange of object and the betrayer, let's say, and there's something that will happen, and it's built on trust. Our what we try to do with guarantees we give, with detailed descriptions, with provenance research, which is extremely important today. So we put a lot of effort in the history of an object. Where was it in auction here and there? It was, let's say, in an auction called Santa Maria, who had this beautiful name and did auctions in the 1920s in Roma. And a coin was there, and then it left Roma and came to Switzerland and then to America, whatever. So all these things we do is to build up trust. What we need to do, and no matter if we talk about coins or art in general, the whole market is based on trust in the end. If our catalogs are not good, if our descriptions are not good, we lose customers. And in addition, we have to try to build up trust with the governments. As you are from Italy, so you know exactly that this is a big problem because the state in Italy does not trust its citizens. That's why the regulations are so high, or other the authorities, they want to collect the coins themselves, but this is just a different point of view. But trust, the most important word here is trust. So if we don't build up trust with what we do, especially in addition, hopefully with the governments, we will not be able to keep the market as it is now. So, and in order to prove that we want to build up trust and that we are transparent, we also launched this project of the classical archive, which is already a spoken word in the museums of the world, because they are very keen on it and they see we put a lot of effort in it. And then afterwards they can do with this classical archive their research on their own, and then they see, okay, the industry is clean, let's say, they're transparent, and they give us this tool to do our necessary research as certain laws require. I mean, if you ask me personally, I would favor Italy and France and all these countries, let's say the Latin countries, to reduce their level of attention and their protection level of laws a lot. And maybe in a good future, Borna, we will see through our efforts that it happens when they trust us more.
Maybe I can add to that. So while Ulf is working on creating the transparency on the past, we use that past, we put it into our database connected to the coins in the storage. And then when the coin moves further through sales, the future will be reflected real time. Whenever a sale happens, we document it, and a next data point, a next provenance point is created. So everything is in one database. Everything is transparent. You can upload all the text documents that you may have, invoices. Everything is basically stored in one place. Yes. Together with the historic research, the provenance, and all the compliance-related documents that you may need, plus the price history. So for all investors, that's also very interesting, right? Because you can see on a coin-by-coin basis how the prices have developed. Yeah. So I think, that's the future. As Ulf said, translate trust in reliable data. Use the data, and then rebuild something and make sure it is usable for the future.
Yeah, and if I may add to this, to your words, Gitta, we talk about coins, but this technology and this idea you have is applicable to all objects, paintings, whatever, no? The whole art market, in fact.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that again. For us, as I mentioned in the introduction, for us, coins is only the first use case. Of course, that's the easiest one for us, coming from a coin dealer's background. But when we started together, my colleague and I, so we both founded the company, we were actually thinking about paintings. Because as I said, I worked with artists together in Singapore, so we just discussed it for a very, very long time. And in the meantime, we are still working on these use cases, right? So it's just the next level. So then other people collect porcelain. So why not put porcelain in our database? So the backbone is there. The front end is actually made applicable to the use case. So of course, numismatic's looks a little bit different than probably ArtStax would look like. Yeah, but as we've said, it's one way of doing things, and it can be applied to many use cases. Wine, for instance, are also very interesting.
Absolutely. And I was thinking, Ulf and Gitta, there would be a way to mitigate the effects of the regulation, specifically in Europe. Also for, let's be honest, for those many objects that they have a provenance, of course, they are legit. But we all know how the art market was until recent time. So documentation, provenance, let's say they weren't the main concern of art dealers and even collectors, which now are complaining a lot. But the point is, does this kind of digital approach could help, governments, collectors, art dealers into a collective agreement which doesn't resume only into a massive restitution to the source countries of all the objects that don't have a provenance like in a 2023 standard, because collecting is also enjoying and sharing art and passion. Why don't we just think about the possibility that any private collector, of course, anonymously, would share with the world part of his or her objects that are not maybe exportable anymore or importable anymore, but still are very valuable scientifically and from a collecting point of view. What do you think, Ulf and Gitta?
Bonner, it's a dream world of a global virtual digital museum where everyone can attribute from wherever. So this is really a wonderful idea, and we think we can help to make it become true with this technology and other efforts. Gitta, what do you think?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I think that's totally spot on. We are talking about socializing cultural assets in one way or the other. So we thought about that from the beginning. We had initial discussions with museums already. There's some private ones, of course, that's the easiest way to do that. So not only by providing digital access to coins or any other cultural assets, but also working together with the museums and organizing exhibitions. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It is part of our culture, coming back to what Ulf said in the beginning. Yeah, we all want to understand how our culture is developed. Coins or any historic artifact helps us doing that, and I think we should make it accessible to as many people as possible.
Great, thank you very much, Gitta. That's very important to say, and as we're leading towards the end of this episode, maybe I wanted to ask you, Ulf and Gitta, what are your top 3 reading lists about, art market, or numismatics?
Gitta, you're first.
Well, I mean, as I said, I'm more looking at it from a process perspective, and I'm not so much looking into it from an art perspective. So I would hand that question over to Ulf. But of course, I mean, I look at the digital versions, especially 6-bit. For me, it's important to see, well, what's on the market, who's auctioning what coin, when, and where. So that's one of my reference sources.
Okay, then I can add some concrete books, for example. So one of my all-time favorites is Sotheby's Bidding for Class by Robert Lacey. Do you know it, Borna?
Yes, of course.
It's a wonderful read. It's delightfully scandalous and extremely corrupt and everything. It's it's a funny read, and it shows where people can go for in art trade. So that's one. Then second, my all-time favorite catalog or collection, let's say we have, is the collection R. Jameson. It's about Greek ancient coins, the standard catalog. So if you want to become a serious collector, you need that original version of it's a wonderful French binding, and you need that to see what a real collection can be, how it looks like. And of course, read our catalogs. Published on 6-bit, or if you want, I can send you a hard print copy of it.
Yeah, absolutely. All this information and references, we're going to put them into the description of the episode. Ulf, how can we reach out to you if anyone is interested in all the topics that have been discussed today?
Yeah, find us in our premises in Zurich, in Löwenstraße 55, or just go to 6bit.com, and there you find us and 100 more of the best suppliers for this material. 6bit.com or hessdivo.com. Both are the addresses. Or more personal, come to see me in Zurich. Or Gitta, she's also in Zurich.
Yes, and you will find a first homepage of Numistaxx. So numis like coins, right? And Staxx is spelled STAXX.com. You will see an explain video that actually describes what we are going to do in phase 1. Yeah, and also you can reach out to us via the info box, and I'm available in Zurich as well. We are very much looking forward to people that are interested in our projects or companies and like to discuss further in person or digitally.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much, Gitta and Ulf. I would really say that the purpose of Rosso Antico and Winkelmann & Co.'s activity is also to merge the past, ancient art, and the future and the technology. And I think that this episode will interest many people, because what you just presented us today was really worth listening. So Ulf, Gitta, I thank you so much for being with us today, and I'll be really happy to get more anecdotes and stories, Ulf, about not only Japan. It seems that Japan, gathers all the momentum, but maybe maybe also from the antiquities. I mean, from the Greek and Roman coins as well.
Ci sono tante altre storie, un sacco di storie. Grande piacere e alla prossima.
Benissimo, benissimo. Thank you.
Ciao, alla prossima.
Thank you.
Ciao, ciao.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Merci d'avoir écouté cet épisode jusqu'au bout. S'il vous a plu, n'hésitez pas à noter Rosantico avec 5 étoiles sur votre plateforme de podcast préférée. Cela nous aide énormément à le diffuser et à faire grandir notre audience. Rosantico est un podcast produit par Winkelmann & Co, société spécialisée dans les services innovants à destination des professionnels du marché de l'art. Si vous voulez en savoir plus, connectez-vous sur www.winkelmann.co. Merci et à bientôt.